Hey guys, welcome back. So, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Again, these are intro videos for specific parts of the class. So, where we're going to start is with what to do when. In order for me to do that, I'm going to share my screen with you, and that way we can talk about some stuff in the shell. So, let's go ahead and do that. So, starting from the Start Here page, what you'll find is a couple of things that I want to talk about. The first is the content. Under content, you'll see in course documents, there's the schedule. This has all of the information on the schedule. Now, bear with me just a moment. I'm going to pull that up over here so we can see it a little bit better. What you'll see in this schedule is that we have due dates for Alex. There are two of them listed. And one of the ones that you'll see is in black and one is in red. So the one that's in black is our recommended due date. That's so that you can stay on top of things and be with where I think the course should be at that point. So that's our recommended due date. But there is a date in red that tells you when you have to have things turned in. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Like I said, if you've probably heard this before on my videos, every time I get on camera, I seem to yawn, and I'm really sorry about that. You'll see a secondary due date that is listed, and that is when things are actually due in Alex. So if you turn it in after that, you can turn it in after that up until the last day that things can be turned in, which is August 6th. You can turn it in, but you'll get a 40% penalty. Now, if you need some wiggle room on those due dates, let me know beforehand, because if you let me know after the fact, then it puts the penalty on even if I change the due date, and then it gets complicated and I have to change it in D2L, but I have to do it every day or it becomes a mess. Anyway, so that's when it's actually due. You'll see that all of your exam one stuff is due right before exam one. I think it's a day before the exam opens. Yeah, they're due on the 20th and the exam one opens on the 21st. Okay, so that's what you'll see is that everything is supposed to be done before you take the exam. The homework is extremely important for getting that exam done successfully. So make sure that you've completed that homework before you get into that exam. So that's our Alex due dates. You'll also see the lab. All of our lab portions are in gray lines with blue text, and those due dates are there as well. Those are due both in Alex and in D2L. There are two portions to that, so I'll talk about the labs separately because it's a little different than it was in 110. So that's a little bit different. The other dates that you'll see here are the exam due dates. Okay, so we've got 3 exams, one of which is going to be dropped. The lowest will be dropped. And then your final exam, that does not replace the lowest grade. We just average the 2 that are kept. And then you have your discussion due dates. So you'll see the discussion proposal is due around the time of exam 1, and your data discussion is due around the time of exam or the final exam. So those are the actual due dates. So that's where you can find your due dates is in your Alex. Now, as far as seeing what needs to be graded, what has to be done for your grade, then we can look here. And this is a student view of what your grades would look like. These are all things that you would have to do. So you'll see there's a homework section, and I've actually changed this so it's 10 points. There's a homework section. Each homework has its name and then the lecture number in parentheses afterwards. There are the classroom tests, the final exam, the lab summary and virtual labs. And again, I'll talk about this little lab portion. And then your post labs and the lab discussion. Okay, so again, those are all the things that will be graded so that you can see that. As far as due dates for things in D2L, another place that you can check is in your calendar. And so you'll see that there are calendars here, or in the calendar, you'll see that there are things that are due, and there are also some availability ending for some of these things. So some of them are listed twice, and I apologize for that. Can't seem to figure out why that is the case. Some of them I have been able to fix, some I haven't. So anything that's due in D2L will be shown here. Okay, that does not include your labs. It does not include Alex. Unfortunately, we can't make the link there. Our university has not set that up so that we can do that. Okay, so those are all of your due dates. Now, one other thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of what to do when. One of the things that you'll find in this initial checklist that you've got here is that there's a list for success. Okay, this list for success includes all of these steps that I believe that you should be taking. And let me view this as a student in order to do this course successfully. This is just a recommendation. You don't have to do it in this order. If it doesn't work for you in this order, that's perfectly fine. But this is what I think. I think you need to have a plan and that you need to set up a study schedule and do all of those things. This class takes a lot of time, and it actually takes more time than 110 did because the lab is more intensive. Okay, so it does take a lot of time. You should be reading the text in ALEKS before you view the lecture on that material. That way it's not new material that you're coming across. Okay, the lecture should help you to understand that material. Then there's the in-class practice. So you'll find in-class practice in what you do in the content. And let me move this over so I can show you that. So within each of your lecture sections, you'll see that there's in-class practice as well as practice. The in-class practice is meant to be done first. It's broken down more than the practice itself. The practice are questions that I have written similar to how I would ask things on a test. Okay, so that's what those are for, and there should be answer keys for both of those present here. Okay, so in-class practice, then the practice, then ALEKS, then whatever lab material goes with that, and then of course the exam. There is an exam review that goes with each and every exam. So you'll see that there is a practice for each one. And I would take this, if I were you, with my exam handouts. Again, make sure you have a copy of the new exam handouts. Those are available under the course documents. And I can exam handouts. So new copy of the exam handouts because there have been some changes and problems that have been fixed with that. I would take this and the exam handouts and sit down and see if you can do this. Because if you can't, then you know where you're still having problems. And there is an answer key that is here for you that shows all of my hand scratching for what I do to do this. And of course, it is literally hand scratching. I know my handwriting is terrible. So if you have any questions about what I did or why I did it, please ask. Okay, I will be happy to talk to you about what I did and why I did it. Okay, but that's how I would handle that. Now, as far as anything else on the and after the exams, you will see not only you'll have the ability to go back in and review what you did. Now, the exam keys that are in D2L are not always perfect. So when I go back and I do the exam, I take the exam and I write everything out. I post an exam key that goes with that. I would look at that exam that you've taken with that exam key. Okay, and you do have to go into the lockdown browser to be able to look at your exam again. It's a function of, since you had to do it with to take the exam, you have to review it in the same way. So, but you will see all of the correct answers listed there and what you got on everything. Okay, so you can see that. And then again, there are a couple of things that are not required, absolutely not required, but there are some reviews: problem solving, scientific method, test taking, and there's a review of significant figures. Okay, so that you can look at those, and all of those are present in this review section. Okay, so this is one. Actually, where did I put them? Okay, they'll be in that review section. Sorry, apparently I haven't uploaded them yet. I thought that I had, but that's okay. I will make sure that that gets taken care of right now. All right, thanks guys. I will talk to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.